So I've got my pandemic hat on. I'm all ready to do part one of the pandemic masterclass. How do I survive having all the demons home during the pandemic and not have a disgusting house? This is a really important one to me because I thrive in clean spaces. I'm a little bit OCD about things on my feet. And we just got 2 new puppies in our home because we've never had puppies before. And I was trying again to reduce the amount of trauma and fear going on. So we brought 2 precious puppies into our house, which you know what they cause. And it's been a real struggle for me lately. And this was the #1 issue that I wanted to talk about. And the main reason is because we instituted something 8 years ago, and I want to reinstitute it. And creating this masterclass made me realize how needed it is. Years ago, we were living in Qatar in the Middle East, and everyone that we knew had maids, and we did not. We did not have maids because we didn't have spare cash to throw around at that moment. But we also didn't have maids because there were issues going on with the maids' travel documents where sometimes they would be confiscated, and there were human rights atrocities going on. So I had all these friends that never had to clean their blasted floors, but I did. And one day we found out that we had a neighbor that was abusive to his maid. She was from the Philippines, and she was sending all of her money back home to her children so they could attend school, and he was not paying her. And so when he was out of the building, she would come over to our home and she would scrub-a-dub-dub our home. We would throw her a little bit of money. It was probably about $25 for 3 hours of work cleaning all of our mess. And it made homeschool so easy. I'm not telling you to get a maid. That's not what I'm saying. What we realized is that even though we were paying her so much more than others, it still wasn't an equitable rate. It was still such a small amount of money for the hard work that she was doing. And so we made this a homeschool lesson that took over a week, and us studying about human trafficking, studying about rights with passports, and helped us to understand the gratitude we should have for having the passport that we did, but also helped us to understand, since we stood in a position of having privilege, we needed to represent others. And this is probably the best homeschool teaching we ever did, because it happened when our kids were young, and it just became a part of them. It became part of their blood and part of the air going through their lungs, that they stand in places as allies for those that are vulnerable. And I think as a parent, if there's anything that I teach, that's the #1 thing I need to teach, that you're part of the human family and that you're going to represent those that can't represent themselves. So it was a gigantic win, but this is how it connects to the fact that you want a clean home. There's an organization called Kiva. If you haven't heard about it, I'm going to share my screen right now so you can go check it out with me. Here we go. Kiva.org, right here. On Kiva, you can choose to lend increments of money as small as $25 to help people that are starting their own businesses, or sometimes they've just experienced a tsunami, they need to rebuild their home, or sometimes they actually have crisis support loans for those that were out of work during COVID-19. You can go to this site, as you can see in the top, it's kiva.org, and you could just create an incredible homeschool activity, learning about different cultures, different peoples, different needs, different things that are produced in different parts of the world. If you go right over here to About, you can see how Kiva works. The way that Kiva works is you donate money, $25 increments, and then those people take loans, and when the loans are completed, it's paid back to you. And then you can reapply that $25 somewhere else. So my husband and I started working with Kiva when we were newlyweds, because we wanted to be givers, but we didn't have money. We were both in school and we weren't working jobs at that moment. And we just committed $25. This was back the year we were married, in 2001, right? Yeah, that's right. In 2001. In 2001, we started this with $25, and every Christmas we would add $25 to it. If you were to look at my Kiva interface that tells how much we've lent now, it's like $12,000. Now, we haven't actually lent $12,000. It's that original $25 went to someone and then came back, and we could relend it again. So it comes back to you and you can relend it again. That same amount of money, you're just relending again and again and again. So what we do is we pay our kids for doing chores. And then with that money, they get to choose who they donate to in Kiva. as it says, more than 1.7 billion people around the world are unbanked and can't access the financial services they need. So Kiva tries to connect the dots so that way people can be entrepreneurs and people can, you know, be the entire solution, not just getting a one-time donation, but can create a framework where they can thrive. So if you see right here where it says lend, you can see you can do categories. You can just lend to women, or just do food insecurity, just do conflict zones, just help with COVID-19. You can also go to ending soon, which is what we often do. When you go to ending soon, these are the people that, they only have a certain window where people can donate to them. So like, for example, right here, this Paraguay group of women, they only have, you know, 42 hours left and they have $625 still to go. You can see their story, why it is that they're interested in a donation, what it is that their donation, their loan will be used for. I used the wrong word, it is a loan. And then you can choose if you want to contribute or not. So now I've got to find the button that says end screen sharing. I don't want to be sharing, stop share, we found it. So we don't pay our kids a lot for cleaning, because that initial example of getting paid for cleaning with that maid that wasn't getting paid an equitable amount, it taught them that housework and domestic laborers make too little. So we still pay them too little. We do, we still pay them the running market economy. So for example, you know, for an hour, they're, depending on their age, they're getting somewhere between $7 and $10. And the honest truth is they're paying domestic laborers that make less than that, because sometimes they are undocumented peoples, and the people that have them feel like they own them and can pay them what they want to. So we clean, we do Kiva cleaning. We usually do it after dinner. We usually do it at about 8 o'clock. That's because our screens go off at 8 o'clock, because we don't want any of those blue rays going in our eyes after 8 o'clock, so that way our sleep won't be hampered. We do Kiva cleaning about 45 minutes. And we have the house divided into zones, the different areas that need to be done. I have 3 people working on the floors because I hate stuff on my feet, and 2 people working on dishes. And that's how we do it. We pay them by keeping a ledger of how much they are owed, and then they get to choose who they donate to through Kiva. Hope that wasn't too confusing. You obviously could donate to any organization that you wanted, or you could just give your kids money, but this teaches the kids that they are a part of a human conversation and they are a part of something larger than themselves. And when I say, okay, Kiva chores, I don't get people saying, oh, but I don't want to do chores, because they know that that money is going to fund someone that really needs it. When I say, go clean your room, it gets a different response because it only has self-gratification. So my best idea in the universe is to fund your kids for doing chores by telling them, and actually making it happen, that that money is going to go to benefit others to be educated, and to benefit others to be entrepreneurs, and to benefit others to survive COVID-19. I'll see you in a second for part 2.